Good morning, guys. This is Carrie. I am coming to you from Thomasville, North Carolina, in our 56-day class. And today we're going to talk about meal prepping. So, congratulations, you are finally on day 21. And day 21 is exciting because today is the day that if you are brand new to this program, your coaches are going to add you to the Facebook site, the private Facebook site. And on that site, you're going to find lots and lots and lots, like over thousands of approved recipes for the program. You're also going to get a lot of the community support and accountability that you're really longing for, especially if you're doing an online class or you're not in a local class here. So congratulations, you've made it. I want to talk to you today about meal prepping. And meal prepping is huge in our program. I really feel like the ones who do the meal prepping are the ones that succeed the best, because what happens when we don't meal prep? We live these really busy lives, and we don't have time to cook or anything like that, and then we end up going through the drive-thrus and things like that and making some really bad choices. So today's lesson all about meal prepping. Okay, why do we want to meal prep? That is a big deal. To me, meal prepping is going to save my energy. It's going to save me groceries on my grocery bills. It's going to help with my sanity. I live a really busy life, okay? And I'm going to tell you my basic week this week. So I've got 3 kids. I work 3 jobs, and my husband is in Texas this week for his business. Okay, so not only is that crazy, but then I add in the school activities. Okay, so we've got Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, wrestling every day. We've got volleyball twice a week. We've got karate. We've got church events. And then life beyond that. And so I get in that period of my life where I'm just like, I can't do anything else. And now you want me to eat healthy on top of it. So yes, I feel your pain. I do want you to eat healthy. I think it's really important. And the reason it's important is because these decisions that we make with our food affects us long term. Okay, if I live an unhealthy life now, if I start bringing my kids through drive-thrus every single night, they are learning an unhealthy lifestyle, and you just don't want to go down that road. I want you to take the time to invest in your health. I really and truly think that's important. So why do I meal prep? Like I said, it's going to save me time. I don't have a lot of time anymore. I really don't. But any extra time during the day or throughout the week that I can get, it's a good thing, right? I only have to clean my kitchen one time. Now, this is not my kitchen, okay? If I was in my kitchen and I'm meal prepping, my kitchen is an absolute mess. But by the time I'm finished, I got several things planned out through the day or for the week, and then I can clean up my mess in my kitchen and I'm done, okay? And that is huge for me. I don't end up wasting food, okay? So how many times have we gone to the grocery store with all good intentions of buying that zucchini and we're gonna do something with it? We stick it in the refrigerator, and then something else comes along and we push it back, and then we push it back, and then we push it back. And by the end of 2 weeks, that same zucchini is in the back of that refrigerator and is getting moldy, okay? We wasted our money, we wasted our time, we never got that zucchini in our body. And so that's not a good thing, okay? I am very frugal. I get picked on that a lot, and especially in this area. My dad has always told me, y'all may have heard this already, but I can squeeze a turd out of a buffalo nickel, okay? So part of that is making sure that I don't waste food. So if I get all my vegetables from the grocery stores, when I get home or as soon as I have the chance, I'm going to cut up all those vegetables, okay? I'm going to wash and clean them, and then I'm going to clean them, and then I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag, a freezer Ziploc bag. And I combine all my vegetables because, and sometimes people will ask me, well, does that combine all the flavors? It does, but I was going to stick them in the same pot anyway. It's so easy for me to grab a bag full of vegetables and throw them all in the oven and roast them, sprinkle them with some Italian seasoning or something like that, drizzle it with a little bit of coconut oil, and then all my vegetables are together anyway. I didn't even have to open more than one bag. I just throw it in there and it's done. A great way to get my extra fiber in. It's going to help to alleviate my temptations, okay? So if I have healthy choices in front of me that are already prepared, that's what I'm grabbing. If I don't, then those temptations arise, and then I end up getting something that I don't want to get. So I want to know who in your family is doing the meal prepping. I do not think this is a job for just mom or just dad or whoever's doing the cooking in your family. I really think it needs to be a family event. So my kids are not 100% on this program. I don't expect them to be. They're kids, okay? I do want them to make healthier choices. However, when I first started this program 4 years ago, before it really was an actual program, I knew there were certain temptations that I had in my family. And one of that would be the fact that I've got 3 kids and I was making 3 lunches every single day. So in their lunch boxes, I would always give them chips and cookies, okay? I still give them chips and cookies because they're kids. My healthier meals are the ones that we sit down as a family. But saying that, when I was making their meals prior to this program, you know, I have got 3 kids. I was putting all their foods in their little lunch baggies or whatever. And it was, you know, chips for you, chips for mama, chips for you, chips for mama, chips for you, chips for mama. Oh, and then I get to the cookies. 2 cookies for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1 for me. Okay? Anybody guilty of that? That's what I was doing on a daily basis. Did I want them? No. Did I need them? No. But were they there? Yes. And so what did I do? I grabbed them. I ate them. So those are the things that I want my family to help me prepare now. So if my kids still want cookies in their lunchbox, guess what? Everybody's got a job. You pack the lunches, okay? So now the kids are packing their 2 cookies, little cookies, in their little bags, and then mama's not touching it. They're putting a handful of chips in the bags, and mama's not touching it. I'm getting away from the temptations, the things that I know that are going to affect me. Get your husband in the kitchen. You know, y'all can sit there and chit chat and everything. Even if he's a horrible cook, he can cut up the vegetables. Do it something together. Or have your family come together and say, all right, let's plan a meal out this week. What do you want to eat? And taking that meal, you know, how can we make this pizza approved pizza, a healthier pizza? Little decisions like that we're going to do. As far as when you should prep your meal, you know, it takes, I probably work about 2 hours a week, honestly, of pre-prepping. And that might be between chopping up vegetables or whatever, or pre-cooking my meat, making casseroles, taking 1 casserole and, you know, and having 1 for a dinner. But it takes just as long to make 2 casseroles at one time. So 1 I'm eating, the other one I may be freezing for later on. Using your crock pot, using your Instapot, things, your air fryers, things like that. Those are the things that are going to make your life a lot easier, okay? So let's talk about some of the tools that I use. So here is the air fryer. Air fryers are really good, especially if there's a small family. Now I've got a family of 5, so I can't put my entire meal in there, okay? But I might pick and choose. So if I have an evening where I have nothing planned, there's nothing in the freezer, and I did a really bad job of prepping that night, then I can put some chicken tenders in there, pour on some Valentino sauce, some hot Mexican sauce or something like that, and I'll pour that directly on my boneless breast, chicken breast, or tenders, whatever you're going to use. Put that on there and let it cook. There's a little chicken button on there, bam, it's done. It's always nice and juicy, and that is like the quickest meal that I can possibly do if I'm not prepping otherwise, okay? Your crock pot. Crock pots are really good. I love my crock pot. You know, a lot of times I'll do whole meals and put it in freezer zipper bags and let it thaw out the night before, and then the next morning I'm just dumping it in my crock pot, put it on low, let it cook all day long while I'm gone, and then when I get home I've got a nice tasty meal. I love my soups in the crock pot. I don't think I've ever cooked a soup in an actual pot. Make sure that you've got containers, some airtight containers that you can do your freezing in. You can do the glass bowls, you can do the plastic bowls as long as they're BPA free and everything. This, I keep on holding this bag. I love my Ziploc bags. I have got tons of Ziploc bags in my freezer, okay? So the problem that a lot of people have with the Ziploc bag is that we put something in here and then we say, oh, I know what that is. I don't need to do anything else with it. Well, 6 months from now, you're looking at that freezer bag going, what on earth is this stuff? Okay, so they put this little handy label. I'm gonna let you know what this thing is for. On this label, you put what is in this bag and you put the date. And I think that's really important for you to do. Use your permanent marker, but use a ballpoint pen, okay? So that's one of my kitchen tools. And then also in here, I have a little sandwich bag, okay? So if I am doing my chicken, my venison, my beef, whatever I'm cooking, I'll go ahead and make large quantities of that, and then I will measure after it is cooled off, okay? But I will put about 3 cups worth of my protein in these little baggies, and then I put them in the freezer bag, and I will put them on top of a baking sheet, and I will let it lay flat, and it's going to freeze flat. And that way, if I freeze it flat, it doesn't take up as much room in my freezer. I've only got one little freezer. I wish I had an extra freezer, but I don't. So I'm making sure that I am conserving my space in my freezer too. My food processor, I don't have that one here right now, but I love my food processor. I'm using that to make my oat flour, to shred my cheese, because we don't do any pre-shredded cheese. Shredding my vegetables, you know, it takes so less time. And when I'm cooking in large quantities, I am not taking my food processor and then washing it and then going back there. I am rinsing it out and we keep on moving, okay? I will clean up all that mess at one time. Your measuring cups, okay? Measuring cups are a big deal. When you've got your almonds or something like that that you're snacking on, you have to realize that the serving size is a 1/4 cup, okay? So you can go to the Dollar Tree, get the little plastic ones, or even those little snack cups that you see. You can get those. Those are a 1/4 cup. So put that in your little baggies and use that as your measuring cup. You can say, okay, here's my portion size for the moment, and be done, okay? Stay away from it. So that's a big one. So some of those, also parchment paper. Parchment paper is a big deal in my house, but then you have another option. I use both of these, okay? So here's my parchment paper. Nothing sticks to this. So I do recommend making sure that you have this. And another favorite thing that I have are these splat pads, okay? So this is silicone mats, and I can use this in place of my parchment paper. Now these I got on Amazon. I'm sure they've got them at your local stores. You just have to look for them. They are kind of bulky, and so I'm going to show you how I store them. I actually roll them up, and then I put the top of a can, mason can, ring, and I put it right there. And so in my cabinet, when I store them, they store like this, and I don't have to worry about them getting all floppy or anything. Okay. Another favorite of mine, a lot of times our muffins will stick, okay? So I do not like using paper. I don't like using the metal pans anymore because I love these so much, but these are the little silicone muffin pans. And I'll put my muffins in there. You can put your egg muffins in there. You can put your Care Bars in there, little things like that, and then they just pop out, okay? So you're not having to use all those papers. You're not wasting any of that. Now I'll tell you, one of the secrets, and I found this out the hard way when I first bought these. I was so excited because I knew nothing stuck to them. So I had my approved muffins going on, had it on the counter, had all my muffin mix right here, and then I picked it up, okay? So I pick it up, and what happens? All my muffin junk falls out, okay? So I'm teaching you ahead of time so you don't make the mess that I did. Go ahead and put them on a baking sheet, okay? Put your your silicone muffin pan on top of it, then pour your stuff on it and put it directly in the oven, okay? So I just saved you a big mess. You can thank me later, I promise you. Okay, so that's one of the big things to do. Also, find out what your to-do list is. You know, if you've got a crazy week, check your calendar. If you don't have time to prep tonight, don't prep tonight. It's going to take you a while. But look at your kids' calendars. Do they have games? Do they have practice? Those are the days that you need to make sure that you've got everything prepped and ready to go, okay? So you don't make any bad decisions. Also, look in your pantry. Are there things in there that you need to use up? Or are you just going to the grocery store constantly and buying the same things over and over and over, okay? So make sure that you're using what you've got. Look up your favorite recipes. If the recipe is not simple, I don't do it, okay? Typically, most of my recipes will have about 5 ingredients on average. If it's an ingredient that I can't read and I can't pronounce, I don't do it, okay? That's just me. I'm a very, very simple person. And also make a grocery list and head to the store one time. Don't go to the grocery store 20 times a week. You're saving a lot more money if you do it one time and then figure out based on those foods that you have at home, what can you make, okay? And another tip, when you're going grocery shopping, don't go when you're hungry, okay? Do not go when you're hungry, because what are you doing? You're making bad decisions. So when you are grocery shopping, we're going to shop the perimeter, for the most part, of the grocery store. And what's in that perimeter? You've got your protein, You've got your fiber, you've got your vegetables, you've got your fruit, you got a little bit of dairy over there. What's on the inside? Normally a bunch of junk. That's when you get your chips, your cookies, and all that mess. So those are the things that you're going to stay away from. When you are washing your produce, I think this is really important. There's a simple way to do it. You can actually take the white vinegar and some water, about eighth a cup to half a cup of the white vinegar, and put that in a bowl or put it in your sink. Put all your produce in there at one time, okay? Let it sit in there 15, 20 minutes, rinse it off, pat it dry, stick it in the refrigerator, okay? That's going to get a lot of the cooties. We'll call them cooties. Well, that's going to get all the cooties off of your vegetables and your fruits. I've had people ask me about, what about strawberries? You know, is that going to make my strawberries taste pickled? No, it's only in there 15, 20 minutes. Now, if you leave it in there all day long, I'm not promising it's not going to be pickled. But 15, 20 minutes, you're good, okay? And that's going to take care of the bacteria and the pesticides and things like that. Also, a good way to cook your chicken, okay? So you can grill your chicken, you can bake it, stick it in the crock pot or slow cook or anything like that. But once you have, like I always put mine, if I'm doing shredded chicken, I always put mine in the crock pot. Put the water in there, add your spices, and then don't throw away that chicken broth. Chicken broth is expensive, and when you look at the ingredients to chicken broth, a lot of times it's got a lot of junk in it, okay? So save what you were making. So we've got our chicken broth and all that good stuff. A lot of times I like to pre-shred my chicken, okay? Now in the past, I had a friend and we would buy 40 pounds of chicken, okay? She would take 20 pounds, I would take 20 pounds. Now that sounds great until you get to the point where you gotta shred 20 pounds of chicken, and that it takes all day long. So now what I do to shred my chicken is I put my chicken in a big bowl, and then I take my hand mixer and I put it in the bowl and I go whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Now you're not gonna go full blast. If you go full blast, you're gonna have chicken on your ceiling, okay? But it's whoosh, 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 just like that. And it's going to shred the chicken, okay? Really big time saver. And then I said earlier, but I take about 3 cups of that shredded chicken and I put it in little sandwich bags, and then I will put it in my freezer bag, lay it flat, okay? I do not put that chicken into the bags until everything is cooled off, okay? Very important. All right, what about cooking your meat in bulk, okay? So I can get up to 5 pounds of beef or venison in a slow cooker, and I can cook it all at one time, okay? Just put it in there and be gone, okay? Do the rest of the things that you need to do for the rest of the day. Put it on slow, it can cook all day. I add chopped onions to mine just for flavoring. But other than that, I don't add any extra spices. I'm not, because maybe I want Italian one night and all of a sudden I've got Mexican spices in my meat. Well, that's not going to taste good. So I use the seasoning after the fact. But again, when I'm going to do a casserole or something like that, that is a huge time saver. Me just coming in and saying, boop, here's my meat. It's already cooked, thawed out. Bam, I'm ready to go. It's saving me time and it's saving me a mess. Make a list of all the foods that you eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, things like that. Make this list really, really simple. I'm going to give you a few different things that you can do for those. So make ahead breakfast items. You can do boiled eggs, okay? I do not have the Instant Pot, but I hear the Instant Pot makes some really, really quick boiled eggs, and those are good for snacks and breakfast. The mini frittatas, you can put those in these little muffin pans, and that would be great. Granola. I'm going to show you really quick how to make granola, okay? Actually going to do a demo here. So I just have a pot. There's nothing in it right now. And in my pot, I'm using the old-fashioned oats, okay? We're not doing quick oats because the quick oats, even though it's got the exact same ingredients in it, the more it is processed, the higher the glycemic index scale goes, okay? So I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is half a container of oats, okay? The other half, I've already put it in my food processor, and I've ground that up to make my oat flour. So I am pouring half of a container of oats into my pot here, okay? Very simple recipe, all right? This is a whole bag of sliced almonds. It is 1.5 cups, all right? It says it on there. So I'm going to take my almond, going to pour it into my pot, okay? I'm going to take some pure vanilla extract, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons into this pot. Now this little capful here is 1 teaspoon, so that's how I'm going to measure. 1, 2, and then it doesn't even, I don't even have to take out the measuring spoons, okay? Now, I have already pre-measured this just to save me time, but this is half a cup of xylitol and half a teaspoon of the pink sea salt. I'm going to put this in my bowl, okay? And then I'm going to use half a cup of coconut oil. Now, this is actually the solid coconut oil here, but I just stuck it in the microwave just to measure. Okay, so I'm going to put half a cup of coconut oil into my pot. Okay. And then one of my favorites. Okay, so this is cinnamon. Cinnamon actually helps to balance your blood sugars naturally. I'm taking the cap off. This tells you how much I love cinnamon. But I don't measure this. I just pour and pour and pour. I love cinnamon. I think it really adds the flavor. And it's got the health benefit. And then I'm going to stir it up. Okay. So it's all stirred up here. Okay, when it's all mixed up good, I'm going to put it on a baking sheet. I'm not going to do this now because I don't have a way to transport at home very well. But I would put the parchment paper or these little splat sheets on there. Put the parchment paper on your baking pan. Put this this oatmeal on there. And then I'm going to put it in my oven at 275 for 75 minutes. Turn off my oven after the 75 minutes. And then I'm going to let this granola cool in the oven. And that's going to give it that crispiness, okay? Now, there's the other thing that I like to do here. And it is adding the freeze-dried strawberries after I have cooked the oatmeal because they're already crunchy. I did try to add them to the mixture at one time, and they were still crunchy, but it turned my strawberries black, and so they weren't burned. It just changed the color. So I add these to my little Ziploc bag because that's what I'm storing it in. After the fact that I have cooked those, and then bam, I've got granola. Now I can use this granola as my cereal if I need a quick breakfast item, and so in the mornings I'm just adding that unsweetened vanilla almond milk to it. I can get a little snack size cup, put it in my granola. That 1/4 cup or half a cup would be my serving size. I could put this on my approved Greek yogurt. There's several different options that I can have with the granola. This is something that you could keep in the car if you need a quick snack versus, heading out to someplace you don't need to be for the temptations. So that's a really quick meal to do. All right. What else do we have here? You can do muffins. There's going to be some approved muffins. When you get on the Facebook site, just log in on the search button, put on there muffins, and that will come up. And also your smoothies, okay? So the Pure Nourish shakes, that is a huge tool for me, okay? So typically we're all eating 21 meals a day plus snacks. 7 of those meals I don't have to think about. And don't you love having something that you don't have to think about? So those Pure Nourish shakes, I always put frozen strawberries, frozen blueberries, my spinach, get my coconut oil in there, okay? The health benefits are going to come from the coconut oil that is got the virgin coconut oil. That is the one that is not processed, okay? And that's going to have the greater health benefits for you. But getting that Pure Nourish shake in your body, that has got lots of protein, and it's got the branched chain amino acids in there, and that's one of the things that's helping your muscle percentage to go up, which is very important on this program. I don't want you to lose weight but gain fat percentage and decrease in the muscle percentage. That's not my goal for you, okay? So women, I want your muscle percentage at 25% or greater, and men, you need to be at 30% or greater. And making sure that you've got the branched chain amino acids in there, that's very important, and also making sure that you're getting your 100 grams of protein in your diet on a daily basis. That's a big deal. Now, if you have kidney issues or anything like that, you do need to decrease that protein amount. And what we would do is take your weight and multiply it by 0.36, and then you get your new goal for yourself, okay, with anybody with the kidney issues. Lunch, okay, so let me show you lunches. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the mason jar salads, but you can actually make 7 of these things all at one time, and it will stay good throughout the whole week. But you can actually take a mason jar. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. Get the wide mouth ones, okay? But you can take the mason jars, you put your dressing at the bottom. Take your beefier vegetables like your zucchini, peppers, things like that. Put those on the bottom. If you're using your spinach and stuff, put that on the top. And then put a paper towel on top of it, and that collects the moisture. put it in the refrigerator. You've got a salad for every single day. You put your protein in there, put your quinoa in there. That would be another good thing. Now, Deb Mason, she's one of our coaches that I absolutely adore. And she came up with this great idea. She says, I don't like my dressing on the bottom. Now, to me, it wasn't a big deal because the dressing's on the bottom, the approved dressing. You shake it up, and all of a sudden, your whole salad has got the dressing, okay? No big deal. She says, I don't want my dressing touching the food, okay? So what are you doing? So she was taking this little cup, okay? So this came from unsweetened applesauce, and she puts her salad in here, and then she puts her cup on top of there, screws on the lid, and so every day, she's got her whoops, I'm making a mess. Every day she's got her dressing in here. It's time for lunch. She just pours it in. Okay, how quick is that? We can have that for lunch. We could have it for dinner on the go. It'd be easy to pack in your kids' lunch boxes. Little things like that make all the difference. Cut up your zucchini ahead of time because zucchini it's really watery. And so if you cut up your zucchini, stick it in the refrigerator 2 or 3 days, it'll kind of dry it out a bit. And you can take those Stoneway bowls if anybody's got those still. We bought a whole bunch of them a few years ago just because we loved using them. But take the Stoneway bowl, you've got your cut zucchini, put your protein on top, put an approved tomato sauce or a spaghetti sauce, make sure it's approved, on there. Put a little bit of cheese on top, put it in the microwave 3 to 4 minutes, and bam, it tastes just like you've got this oven-made lasagna, zucchini lasagna. It's delicious. Take your leftovers from the night before. Again, you can do the Pure Nourish shakes. That is a big deal. When you are prepping your meals, start small. Don't try to do everything at one time. It's not going to work and you're going to be frustrated. Start small. You know, if I can do maybe 2 to 3 nights this week, that's going to make my life easier. And then kind of build up from there. Or if you can double up. You know, I make one meal. It's just as easy for me to make 2 of the same meal. So one I'm going to eat, the other one I'm going to freeze. Or take your meals and make something else out of it, okay? So I could do meatballs, okay? If I make a whole bunch of meatballs and stick them in the freezer, then from there I can have meatballs. I could have, you know, one night we can have meatballs with spaghetti sauce. I can throw it in something. That's versatile. You can make tacos, and okay, you've got leftovers now. What are you going to do with all this taco meat? You're going to take the taco meat, put it in a stuffed pepper, you know, just cut out the top of it, put it in the pepper, and if you got one of those bundt cake pans at your house now, because you're not doing a lot of cakes, right? But you've got that, put the peppers around the bundt cake so they're standing up and let it cook in the oven. And then you don't have to worry about falling down. So that's my good tip there. You can also take that taco meat and make a taco soup out of it. What about if you have leftover roast beef, okay? I've got just enough for the family and a little bit of leftovers, right? So I can have those leftovers, I can have it for lunch, or I could take those leftovers and now we can have beef soup out of it, you know? Taking one thing and making something else out of it. This summer we had a big cookout to go to, and of course I like chili on my hamburgers. Can I have hamburgers? Yes, it's got to be approved, and I can't have the bread on top of it, but I can make a really good hamburger and fork it. I'm okay with that. So anyway, I had a whole bunch of approved chili. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do with this stuff? Because I was making enough for an army. I take it, I put my beans and stuff. I made basically the cowboy bean recipe. Okay, now I've got this chili left over. I've made the cowboy beans out of it. We ate that. And now I still had a little bit of cowboy beans, but not enough for a whole meal. So what am I going to do with it? I take my cowboy beans, I put it in a 9x13 casserole, and I make the mashed cauliflower. Put the mashed cauliflower on top of the cowboy beans, sprinkle just a little bit of cheese on it, not a lot. Remember, we're doing it 1 ounce a day is what we want to be getting, if at all. Okay, if you can do without it, even better. But all of a sudden, I've got like a shepherd's pie. It was perfect, okay? So I take one thing, keep on adding to it, and that's going to be cheaper for you in the long run. All right, so don't forget about prepping your snacks. You always need to have a snack that's available. Get your almonds. That would be a big thing. Your apples. How versatile are apples? You grab it and you keep on going, okay? But you could take the apple and pre-slice it. You can actually core it down, put a rubber band around it, and you don't have to put anything on it. It will stay, it won't turn brown on you or anything like that. You could cut up celery, carrots, things like that. If you're wanting that crunchy snack, that would be a good one. Make ahead the approved crackers. I always have my seed crackers. I make 2 batches of seed crackers every single week. That is my new chip. And it doesn't take long for those things that are healthy to fill you up. So you're not constantly grabbing those non-nutritious foods. The Care Bars, you can store those in the freezer, the refrigerator. Just don't take them out to the ball game when it's 90 degrees. I don't want you doing that. It'll make a mess. String cheese, that would be an easy one. Take that one with you because that's actually 1 ounce of cheese. You can do the boiled eggs, the approved granola that we just made. That would be something easy that you can take along with you also. Desserts. Desserts are big, okay? So that's one of the reasons I love this program is I can still have my dessert. But my desserts are healthy for me, okay? They're not hurting my body. So I could do Care Bars. I can do approved ice cream. That is on the Facebook site too that you can look up. You can do cakes or pies, things like that. But go ahead and pre-slice those, okay? So I made the cream cheese pound cake last year. I guess it was last Christmas is when I decided I was going to time this. Made the pound cake, went ahead and pre-sliced it, put it in little individual sandwich bags, and then stuck it in my freezer bag. And so when I wanted some, I could go in there and get it, okay? Now, if this cake had been sitting on my counter, I would have eaten it every single day, okay? It would have caused an issue. However, because I did not have it in front of me and it was not a constant temptation, oh, there's that cake, I need to grab it, I was able to get little portions at a time. So I made this pound cake in December, and I knew it was in December because I had taken my label and put on there cream cheese pound cake, December, whatever the date was. And then I did not finish that bag until March. All right, March. How long does it normally take you to go through a whole cake? Maybe a week or less, depending on the size of the cake. It's a big deal. So make sure you're doing that. Do the no-bake cookies. Those freeze really, really good. I'm all about my freezer because our foods don't have the preservatives in it. They will go bad quicker, okay? So my freezer is my preservative. That's how I'm keeping everything going through there. So those are just a few things. Also, if you're needing the energy level, let me show you this. I didn't even talk about this, but one of the other things that I do make sure I prep on a daily basis is my vitamins. So I've got one of those little 7-day pill forms, where it says, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and keeps on going. And so I put my vitamins in there every single day. And that way I know, first of all, what day is it? Because my days are so crazy sometimes. I can look in there and say, oh, great, today's Wednesday, because I need to take my vitamins on Wednesday. It also helps me to keep accountable. Energy level, especially when you are busy, is very important, okay? So this is one of my favorites. This is Rejuvenex. This is good for energy. Now, it's not one of those energy things where you're going all day long. It's not like that. It's a good balanced energy. And I don't have to take this every day. I don't. If I know I've got a crazy schedule that day, then I will take 2 Rejuvenex. You can take up to 4. It's not necessary for me. It's only 2. So this one lasts me a long, long time, but it is one of my favorite things that I like to add to my supplements as needed. But make sure you get that. Also, make sure that you've got your water in. I recommend doing a water bottle that has a filter in it. This is one of my favorites. Keep it with me everywhere I go. Because you need your water. And a lot of times we're eating when our body is actually dehydrated, okay? So make sure that you're getting your 64 to 100 ounces a day. Really and truly what I want you to do is do half of your body weight in water daily, okay? And that's going to help with constipation issues, helps with wrinkles, ladies. I mean, just different things that this water is going to help in your body, okay? It's also going to flush out the toxins, all those other things. But I could go to a public bathroom if I wanted to, and because it has a filter in it, I could get my water out of that sink in the public bathroom and feel comfortably, okay? Because it's getting rid of 99% of all the junk that I don't want in my system, okay? So little things like that, those are the things that I want you to pay attention to while you're doing your journey on the next 56 days. Also, I want to encourage you to realize that this is not just a 56-day program. This is a program that I want you to adapt for your lifestyle. I just had a guy ask me yesterday, do you eat healthy every single day? And my answer is yes, I do. I have to. Because if I don't, if I go back to where I was, then the issues that I had in the past, they come back. And I had lots of inflammation. I was one of those skinny fat girls, okay? I've never had a lot of weight to release. In fact, in 4 years, I've only released 5 pounds. But my inflammation was so bad when I first started this program, and that has gone away, and that has given me an extra source of life. And my good nutrition now, it gives me the energy that I need to go on my crazy days. So that's what I've got for you today. Make sure that you have sent your weights in to your coaches. Be nice to your coaches. They love you and they're so committed to you, okay? And make good decisions. We'll talk to you later.